Mic check.
Check,
Mic
check.
check. 1 2 1 2. Yeah, yeah. All right, we live. We live,
Yo, yo,
baby.
yo, yo.
We live, baby. You know what it is? It's Words Illah, aka Drew Skills, aka Ill doing it too. And this is the Words Illah podcast.
Hey.
You know what it is?
Yeah, we in
We
here.
here. We live here at the Words Illah studio, better known as my crib. And I am here. We're starting fresh and new, guys. So anybody who may have heard or known about any of the other episodes from 2 years ago, maybe even last year at some point, I think I did a few. I just wasn't consistent, man. I was doing music and getting into videography and things of that nature. But we are here. We are back. We are revamped and we are renewing every day because I'm just gonna have fun with this and my co-host,
Yo.
permanent co-host now, man.
Huh?
My man, the Baker,
Yeah, man.
aka DBL, aka Honest D,
It's a lot of
aka
AKs.
L doing it 3. Yeah, he's
I'm
out
working
here.
on another AKA as we speak, man. I don't know, though. Like,
That's what's up, though.
what up, though, man? We in here. My man let me join the party, so
Yeah,
we're
man.
gonna make it,
Exactly.
do what it do.
That's exactly the point, man.
You
So, we could easily just start with like we were talking about before we started was, I mean, give people just a quick rundown in some manner of some of the things and ways, like who you are, like or what you're up to.
Man. Ah. A loaded question.
I know.
You know what I mean? It's so much.
We'll just start with
Yeah.
like
What's up?
music wise. Like let's start with right now. Then let's not even try to go back.
Well,
too
no, I
far right
mean,
now.
we could go to the start. I mean, shit,
Right.
Like,
We
we
can,
homies. Like we
but
go back.
let's talk about like recently. What has it been? You as far as like talk about how in the last year or so it's like you've registered yourself.
Oh, yeah,
as
word
a,
up.
as a songwriter and
Okay.
producer and
Yeah, word up. Yeah, like you said, I got serious. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because we've been doing this, or I've been doing this. Speak for myself, as a hobby for a long time. You know what I'm saying? But recently, I got inspired by Werds Illah, the likes of you and Steve B,
Word.
the homie. Shouts out Steve B. I got registered on ASCAP. You know what I'm saying? As a producer and a publisher. So, excuse me, artist and publisher. I said producer because I make a lot of beats. I've been doing that. That's like my main focus. Is
yeah,
making
primarily
beats primarily. You know what I'm
like
saying?
early on. That's how we all kind of started in terms of it was. I came around a time where he was already DBL at that time was prophecy, right?
Prophecy.
So at that time, I had just started like hanging around with people like our good homie MIC, J Man, and
Ocean Lakes cats.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And so I would go over to J Man's house at that time. I know he's not gonna like this, but I don't care. It was J Slob. So that's what that was. We went over there in his hot ass room and just rapped. You know what I'm saying? Even Kai was in there. Shouts out Kai.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah,
Unknown. Remember Unknown Plague?
Unknown.
That's what they were.
The Unknown Plague.
But yeah. So that was around the time. I don't know how it was. I guess maybe I was at Mike's house at one point and you came over. And so that's how we linked at some point, and then we went to your crib, and just so since then, and that was early. So I know I was probably 16. I think I was 16. Yeah, at that time, 16, 17, maybe around 17. That time. Yeah.
My mom's let me use the computer. We didn't probably crash fucking.
Oh my god.
3 computers fucking with music. But yeah, man. That was when we was fucking with like Magic's Music Maker.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Early.
It was Magic's Music Maker. You know what I'm saying? I was fucking taking their little loops and their samples and trying to make beats on it. And they just came and linked. We did a fucking song, like a posse cut, back before I knew what posse cuts were.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We did a crazy posse cut.
Yeah.
And it's been history from there. Shit.
Yeah, man. So yeah, basically, he's been in hip hop for a while. And we discussed this a little bit, again, briefly before we started, just about like, that's what we're trying to center a lot of this around. This podcast now is going to be, it's mainly about hip hop. I mean, I think I've always kind of had that when I started, even I did like reviews of like the Freddie Gibbs album and
Yeah.
like the hip hop. What was the joint? The Nas album. Some joint. I forget what the joint was called. I forget.
Ooh.
Regardless, that's fucked up. I know. It doesn't matter. It's the weed, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah.
Not for nothing. A
It is
couple
what
of
it-
Nas albums were kind
Yeah,
of forgettable.
you know, it's Nas though. Like you
Yeah,
said,
I
you
mean,
know,
not no
to me-
disrespect to the legend Nas,
right?
the God,
But,
the King.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But
the God, yeah. That's what
Nasir?
we could talk about that Reason album we want. Oh my God.
yeah.
We had that discussion, me, you, and I'm sorry, Steve B.
Oh,
my
yeah.
bad.
The
Ill
King's
doing it.
Disease. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what it is. Oh my God, that album. We said, yeah, we all kind of almost came to a similar conclusion. Like we're right there saying, like, yo, this could be a 10 out of 10. This
Yeah.
could be a classic.
Yeah.
This could be.
Hell yeah.
It's well put together. He's saying what you would expect somebody of his age and his stature to be saying. I mean, the rhymes are. I mean, just think about the information he's giving you in the game and how you know it's through real experience. Like, yeah.
Nah, super dope, man. One of my favorite albums this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Would you say he's in your top 5, or do you even like? I mean, how much are you invested in the idea of a top 5? Or do you?
It's again another loaded question, man, because it depends on what you're ranking people on. Like people, they like to move goalposts nowadays, as they say.
I
So
feel
like, if we're talking about MCs, yes, he's in my top 5 MCs.
right.
If we're talking about just like artists, then probably not in my top 5. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
yeah.
MCs, yes, of course. Nas is in my top 5.
Right. Definitely. I mean, and like you said, I think as you age, and just through experience, you just might change certain things. Like, I know a lot of like the conversations that I have around hip hop usually tend to be more like, all right, now where I'm at now, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
Like opposed to, okay, you asked me when I was probably first starting to rap, there was a lot of rappers that I like as an ego booster to myself almost. I'd be like, he ain't that nice. Like, I mean, nice, but you know.
Right.
And so it just kind of was like, I wasn't really hearing some artists maybe because I was too busy trying to be like, oh, but I'm better than them, like in rapper mode. You know what I mean? But
absolutely.
but like now I look at it and be like, yo, but everybody is dope. There's like to say hip hop is in a bad space or whatever. It seems more like that's a personal belief.
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately, people are kind of hive mind. People like to think the same and say the same thing, and so eventually, a lot of people just start to agree with certain things. I don't think that that's really a natural consent. If you ask most rappers, they don't be feeling like there's really that many whack rappers. It's just like the natural rapper thing to like have this chip on your shoulder or something, and to like use all these whack rappers that don't really probably even exist as like a drive to like make you say things or do things. You know?
I even think sometimes it's more about they're speaking to themselves. You know what I'm saying?
I could see that too.
I found
Yeah,
myself
definitely.
doing that in a couple of verses. Like it sounds like I'm talking about a whack rapper, but it's really self-reflecting.
Yeah,
you know what
I
I'm
feel
saying?
you. Yeah, definitely. Because I think through noticing your own things that you need to work on, that's when you're like, well, then I feel less threatened by any. That's why you might like a rapper might feel more like they ain't really fucking with me because it's like, yo, what I can think of my own self about who I am and what I need to do. Like, you don't know that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have the information. Like, you weren't there when I X, Y, and Z and had to deal with this and whatever. So yeah, that's probably more likely for like the God MCs. Like, if you a Black Thought or a Royce or whoever, these guys, it's more like
more of the top 5.
You can't outdo me because I know me. Like, I really know me.
Yeah.
Like, I've been in therapy, so I've really had the time to really understand why I act, say, do anything. You know what I mean? And that's a scary person. Not scary like in a bad way, but like scary for somebody who's trying to fraud or trying to play. Because you get around somebody like that, they're like, I see that. I know that. I was like that. I said that. I did. You don't. That's why I could understand. There's got to be some like slight older resentment that you get, and it makes sense for older artists to feel like, y'all don't get it. You think you know. You think you out here doing something. You think you did. You think you said something. You don't know. You really don't. Like, I mean, y'all know. Maybe the circumstances are different, but a lot of the same things are still occurring. But it's just like, all right, it was just a different time, what hip
Yeah.
hop was at that time.
Yeah, it was
It's hard to
unprecedented.
compare it to now,
Yeah, it was unprecedented. Like now, it's. I mean, I think they've laid a foundation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now
100%.
these younger guys are reaping the benefits. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they're reaping the benefits, and they're not really having to put the fucking as much of the grind and groundwork into the shits as the older acts. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, of course,
Right.
none of this is
Like it's not. Yeah, it's not. This is not founded on
Nah,
solid
but I
evidence.
mean, we just know from from documentaries and things like that, and people's testaments that they were getting fucked from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
beginning.
Right.
Like it's only now that we're finding out that we can do it independently and fucking fight for this and fight for that, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. For
So
sure. For sure. Yeah,
yeah,
man. Like you said, it's just different times, and I think there's just an understanding that each person from wherever you stand in hip hop kind of just has to come to an agreement, and it's happening more often now than ever. These ideas of why does it matter how old you are or where you're from
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever. It's like
word.
if you're honest, you're truthful, you're being real, and you stand up for something real, we're about it. Like hip hop is there for it, and that's happening so much more that it's becoming like that's the thing. Like it was always supposed to be that,
Yeah.
but it's
And
now.
not to cut you off, sorry,
No,
but
you good.
I feel like the superiority complex is kind of faded in hip hop too. You know what I'm saying?
True.
There is no, I mean, people have kind of accepted who like the goats are. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
But there's really not a, I don't know, because I can't say there's not a top MC, but they base it off of numbers. Nobody really bases it off of skill, and like you know what I mean? Like
Right. Yeah.
that conversation's changed.
Yeah. And I mean again, it's like it is pop music now.
Yeah,
I mean the business of it is,
business.
so in a lot of senses, but this still, like we always know, of course, like that is not what the culture is, but it's still like we get it. Like
Yeah.
at some point you just got to be like, yeah, okay, so I'm gonna operate in this space, and I'm gonna make it available for anybody else to understand. If they want to operate in this space, then I'm here. You know what I mean? Like that's what I feel like the elder statesmen, so to
Yeah,
speak.
word.
That's what they are doing now more. It's like, yo, let the youngins, go.
Do
You know
your
what I'm
thing.
saying? Be out here, and we bout it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're doing, as long as you're not out here, just flat out being disrespectful or whatever,
Right.
and they're holding each other, and everybody else is starting to hold each other accountable, and so it's just it's a lot that's changing fast, and it's good. You know what I mean? Because again, once hip hop starts to get stale, that means it's dying.
Yeah.
As long as there's some craziness happening, some weirdness that we all don't all agree on things, that means something good is happening. That means that there's a chance that
It's growing. Yeah.
there's stuff happening.
Word up.
But yeah, man, shit. How long we been talking for, man? I don't even know. I can't
know.
even see. Man.
Shit's
I don't even know,
running,
man. I ain't even paying attention.
Cool, man. We here.
Yeah, no,
Words
exactly.
Illah podcast. What's
You
up,
know
man?
what I'm saying? We live out
Shit.
here in the crib. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Ultimately, man, this is set for us to just continue to talk about hip hop, talk about what we've got going on. Again, he's working on music right now. We were at the studio last weekend.
Yeah,
you know
it
what I'm
was
saying?
an ill, very, very ill experience, man. Ill, as in, I don't. Do we even say? I say ill. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, look.
The new terminology is crazy right now. But
Hey,
yo,
everybody, I think there's like a general understanding most of the time.
Word up.
Like if you get it, you get it. And so when people say certain things, it's like we can all decipher. I think we've all gotten. We know what is it called?
Yeah,
Context clues.
Context
and stuff.
clues.
Like when you're hearing somebody talk, you kind of get what they're saying. You may not understand the full what they might be really saying, but you get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For the most part. And that's the fun part about hip hop and being a rapper and being a lyricist is at some point you're going to say things that people aren't going to understand, but maybe through a couple of listens and connecting dots in different places, they might realize, oh, and that's the moment everybody wants. You know what I'm saying? I think that there's a feeling that you get as a writer and then as a listener too when you're hearing stuff. You hear an artist and you hear a rapper, or I should say an MC, that again, like anything from the greats we were just talking about. You know, you hear it and you just break it down and you just listen to like how intricate it was for them to put that together, like an entire verse that rhymes. You know, and there's so many internal rhymes, and then there's so many multiple meanings and double entendres, and it's like, yo, the level of writing you have to be able to do is it's unheard of.
Word
you
up.
know, I'm
That's
like
fact.
respects again. I say it all the time. Respects to whoever we are supposed to like honor and praise as far as these great writers from history, but
Yeah.
yo, they not doing what some of these rappers are doing. They're just not, and you can't even compare it. It's apples and oranges, and I don't want to make it seem like it's somebody's better than the other. It's just I don't know how to explain it because once you hear it, you get it. Like,
Yeah.
and you're able to decipher. If you decipher one verse that somebody else shows you that was like a really top-notch verse, and you were able to break it down and understand it, and then really be able to understand how that person did that, you'll be like, bro, that's genius. You got to be a genius to do stuff like that.
Word.
Like, your brain has to be able to operate at a different level. Like, you got to be able to find connections and things that sometimes may not seem like there's any connection to. And yeah, it's a different skill set. And then to be putting it on beats as well, to then be on beat as
Yeah,
well.
in rhythm.
Yeah, that's a whole nother
Cadence,
thing, man.
goddamn.
That's a whole nother thing, man. So again, hats off to all
the MCs.
all the MCs, the greats, especially anybody out here as well. All the artists that I've ever ran into, like there's plenty, especially out here in Virginia Beach alone.
Hell yeah.
Alone, just in Virginia Beach. Like, there's people I don't even know of yet, I'm sure, that are like bubbling, that just have this thing, like, because it's been around here. There's been enough. Like, there's been enough. There hasn't been a lot, man. But there's been enough of people wanting stuff, and then there's been people who've been providing, people who do shows, and you know, so yeah.
I saw something. Pusha T, he got a thing that's supposed to be going on out in Norfolk or some air. I don't want to
Airwave music.
Airwave music.
There that's his label.
Yeah.
He's got a couple of artists already, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a guy,
something
a guy
big
from out
for
of
VA,
Petersburg.
man. Something big for VA.
You know, it's a couple. Yeah, I know I'm peripheral with some things. I know, but I don't fully know. Like, I just see names sometimes floating around, and I be seeing a couple videos here and there. But I'm not. Once you're invested in doing things, you know, like when we're doing with music or doing the podcast or doing videos or doing anything that you're involved in, like, you lose track of time and being able to like fully be like a nerd and be a fan.
Right.
Because I can't support everybody with my time and my money. I have things I'm doing as well. And so I don't be disrespectful. I just understand that everybody's moving. So it's like when you moving, you end up running into the people if it's meant to be. And if not, then it's like respects. And it's never harmful. Try to like things if you can or comment every once in a while. But it's like I can't be invested in every moment of what you up to. Because otherwise I'd be out of my game. And so it's like finding that even balance and just being like, yo, you know, respects to everybody that does it, and I understand what this is. And there's still a lot of male machismo, you know, bravado, sort of elements to what goes on in hip hop and in whip music and just in general doing business and stuff. So, you know, just trying to balance that shit out, you know what I mean, and figure out like where you land, because that's what we up to. Like we were just talking about again before we got on. Like, yo, everybody's just trying to move and make sure you play a part. Everybody just has to be on A. You can't be playing and waiting and thinking that there's going to be this chance for you to now bounce in this other lane because you don't like this one anymore. And then that one's now, so I'm going to bounce in. It's like, yo, that if you're not dedicating enough energy to something, then it's probably not worth it. Like, it probably should be better to find 2 or 3 things and then put your energy into all of that all the time, because then you don't mess around and then you get better result. Like, so yeah, that's a rant off tangent that will probably be a norm here on the Werds Illah podcast.
Yeah, you know, but, an enlightenment. You know what I'm saying?
It'd be streams of consciousness,
streams
if you will.
Of consciousness.
You know, moments in time, mercurial moments. Plug.
Hey.
Get the link in my bio. Go check it. But
Word.
yeah, man. I don't even know how long we've been doing this. I'll be better, guys, and trying to keep time.
Oh yeah, we gotta get a clock going in here.
You know what I mean?
I wasn't even watching, man.
I wasn't even watching the time at all. But that's good though, because that means that we're getting into a groove easier. So that way, then we'll have to actually just set a timer so that we can find a. But I'm just saying that to say again, this has been episode 1. Season 3. What? Look again. I've been saying it. It's gonna. This is gonna be a long season. Okay, it's gonna
Let's
be.
get it.
We're gonna get.
Let's get it.
At least 10, probably 10 episodes. That's what I'm thinking that we should
Yeah.
at least get to. At least 10 episodes, and yeah. So y'all be looking forward to it, man. If you haven't already, go to the link in the Words Illah bio and check out the podcast, man. I got a link in there on the Spotify, but it's everywhere. Just go to all these other platforms that you basically can listen to your podcast, whatever that might be. I don't know what you use, if you have an Apple phone or what you have, but listen to it wherever it is. Just type in the Words Illah podcast. It should pop up. And this should be available, and more content on the way, guys. And
you know it.
Yeah, man. I am Words Illah.
I am the artist formerly known as
AKA Extravaganza.
Yeah, man, this is D, man. My friends know me as Darian L. You know what I mean? Whatever. We're gonna find out what I'm going by in a minute, you know what I mean?
Yeah. We in the motion of getting it done. But either way, appreciate y'all time, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Till next time. We out here.
Peace.
Peace.